वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. I welcome all the devotees for this special session on the glories of Lord Balaramji on the occasion of Sri Balaram Jayanti. Today we will discuss the glories of Balaram from the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. The 10th canto of Bhagavatam very beautifully describes the pastimes of Lord Sri Krishna and Balaram, his elder brother, in a very, very sweet and enchanting manner. Especially the Vrindavan pastimes of Krishna are described more elaborately than even the other pastimes. So Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead, and Balaramji is the direct manifestation of Krishna or the immediate expansion of Krishna in the spiritual world. Whenever Krishna descends from the spiritual world to this earthly planet, Balaram also accompanies Krishna and he assists him in his pastimes. During the Treta Yuga, the Lord appeared as Lord Sri Ramachandra, and in the Dwapar Yuga, the Lord came as Krishna himself. And when the Lord appeared as Sri Ram, Balaramji is Sri Lakshmana as the younger brother. But when the Lord appeared as Krishna himself in Dwapara Yuga, and then the Lord became Balaram, the elder brother. As Lakshmana, he had to see Lord Ramachandra struggling so much in the Ramayana. Actually, there is no struggle for the Lord. The Lord is divine and absolutely there are no miseries for him. But still, just to fulfill the promise of Dasharatha Maharaj, just to kill so many demons, Lord Ram has undergone so many tribulations in the Vanavas during his exile period. And Lakshman has been witnessing all those difficulties, and he's feeling that, oh, my Lord should not suffer like this. But still, because his younger brother, he has to follow the instructions of his the older brother, and older brother is voluntarily following all these austerities. So Lakshman could not do much. But in the avatar of Balaram, so Balaram happens to be the elder brother of Krishna, who has the ability and authority to instruct Krishna also and protect him as an older brother. Now let us see some shlokas from Chaitanya Charitamrita and also from Srimad Bhagavatam, where we can understand the glories of Balaram more elaborately. Eka Krishna Sarva Sevya Jagata Ishvara Arayata Sabatara Sevakanuchara. It is Lord Krishna who is Sarva Sevya. Sarva Sevya means one who can receive services from everybody. Sarva Sevya. Krishna is the recipient of services from all people. Jagata Ishvara is the Lord of the universe. Arayata Sabatara Sevakanuchara. What about others? They are his Sevakas and Anucharas. Sevaka means a servant, Anuchara is a companion, associate. Keha mane keha namane sabatara dasa, yena mane tarahaya, seyi pape nasha. Keha mane, some people accept that they are servants of the Lord. Keha na mane, some people may not accept. But whether you accept it or not, You are a servant of the Lord. Ye namane, those who don't accept that they are servitors of the Lord, that is their independence. They have their own independence. They are misusing their independence. But one who accepts the Lord as the master and oneself as the servant can completely destroy all the sinful reactions. Now, Balaramji, although he's a direct expansion of the Lord, he acts as a servant of the Lord. Balaramji considers himself as a servitor of the Supreme Lord, although he is potentially equal to the Supreme Lord himself, right? So whoever has this Bhakta Abhimana or Dasa Abhimana, that Abhimana, the emotion of being a servant of the Lord is coming from Balaramji directly. Krishna Dasa Abhimane Ananda Sindhu Koti Brahma Sukhana He Tara Eka Bindu. The emotion of being a servant of Krishna can overwhelm a devotee with so much of ecstasy, love, and happiness that in comparison to that happiness of being a servant of the Supreme Lord Krishna, the happiness of merging an impersonal Brahman is insignificant. Brahmananda is insignificant in comparison to even a drop of Bhaktiananda. Bhakti, I'm a servant of the Lord. So that emotion, that conception overwhelms us with great spiritual happiness. And where is this emotion of being a servant of the Lord coming from? Ultimately from Balaramji. That's why it is mentioned in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Bhakta Abhimana Mula Shri Balarame Sei Bhave Anugata Tara Amshagani. Bhakta Abhimana, the mood of being a servant of Supreme Lord Krishna, is originated from Sri Balaram. Balaram is originally in the mode of being a servant of Krishna. And he is the source of Bhakta Abhiman. And Balaramji's service is all encompassing. Balaramji serves the Lord in so many ways, in different rasas. As all of us know, we can serve the Lord in 5 rasas. One is Shanta rasa. Shanta rasa means in a mood of neutrality. Next is Dasya rasa, in the mode of being a servant of the Lord. Third is Sankhya rasa, in the mode of being a friend. Fourth is Vatsalya rasa, in the mode of a parent. And fifth is Madhurya rasa, or like a lover or a consort. These are the 5 ways in which one can connect with Krishna, 5 kinds of relationships or rasas with the Supreme Lord Krishna. And Balaramji, being the supreme servant of the Supreme Lord Krishna, serves Krishna in all 5 moods. How? Let us see now. In Shantarasa, Balaram expands himself as Vrindavan Dham. He creates the pleasing atmosphere of Vrindavan Dham to harmonize it with Krishna's desire. All the paraphernalia in Vrindavan Dham is meant for Krishna's pleasure. Some Siddhir Haritoshanam, and Balaramji arranges for that in Shantarasa. And Balaram, in the mode of Dasya, servant, he does everything required to serve Krishna. Everything for the service of the Lord. So Balaramji, sometimes Balaram, Krishna and all the Gopas, when they're walking in the forests of Vrindavan, tending cows, sometimes Krishna becomes tired, fatigued. Then what does Balaram do? Balaramji starts massaging the feet of Lord Krishna as a servant. Although he's an elder brother, he acts like a servant of the Lord. That is his Sakya Rasa. Then the Lord also, that is his Dasya Rasa. Then Sakya Rasa. And Balaramji also plays with Krishna like a friend. He dances with him, he wrestles with him, he plays flutes with him, and he imitates monkeys with him. He steals butter with him. In this way, Balaramji is a constant, friendly companion, friendly associate of Krishna in Vrindavan. So he serves the Lord in Sakya Rasa also. Then fourth, Balaram serves Krishna in Vatsalya Rasa also. Because he's an elder brother, naturally he has that Vatsalya affection towards the Lord. Balaram sometimes protects Krishna, instructs Krishna also. Sometimes when the Vrajavasis are in anxiety, seeing some dangerous omens in the sky, they think that Krishna must be in some trouble. Let me give an example. When Krishna jumped into Kalya Lake Kaliya coiled Krishna. Kaliya completely arrested Krishna with his coils for about one muhurta, 48 minutes. At that time, when Krishna was arrested by Kaliya's coils, all the Vrajavasis in Vrindavan, they have seen so many bad omens, ill omens. There were some vibrations on their bodies. Uh, all the men felt that the left side of their body is vibrating, and the women felt that the right side of the body is quivering. So they felt, oh, is there any inauspiciousness going to happen? Is Krishna in some danger? That's why we're experiencing some kind of inauspicious omens now. Generally, whenever someone experiences some kind of evil omens, they may think that something unpleasant is going to happen to them. But Vrajavasis think that something unpleasant is going to happen to Krishna, right? Because they love Krishna. If something inauspicious happens to Krishna, if Krishna is in some danger, they feel that pain. And all the Vrajavasis unanimously thought that today Krishna went to the forest without Balaram. Therefore, he must be in some danger. You see, when Balaram is not there with Krishna, Krishna may be in some danger. That's the conception of Vrajavasis. Because Balaramji, being an elder brother of Krishna, has intense Vatsalya prema towards Krishna also. Like an elder protector. He became very anxious. When Krishna ate dirt in his childhood, Balaram became very anxious. He said that he immediately went to Mother Yashoda and complained, Yashoda Mata, Krishna is eating dirt. Then Yashoda Mata came with great anxiety and then told him, Krishna, open your mouth. And Krishna showed the entire universe within his mouth, that all of us know. So Balaramji also has Vatsalya Bhava. Finally, Balaramji also serves Krishna in Madhurya mode, in a conjugal mode. How? He expands himself as Ananga Manjari, Radharani's younger sister, and assists the Leelas of Radha and Krishna. In this way, Balaramji's service attitude is all-encompassing. He serves the Lord in all ways. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, 11th chapter, Sukadeva Goswami speaks this beautiful shloka. Iti nandada yogopaha Krishna Rama katham muda kurvanto ramamanascha navindan bhavavedanam. Krishna and Balaram go to the forest and they perform so many wonderful pastimes of killing demons. And all the other Gopas, they come back to the village in the evening and they narrate the pastimes of Balaram and Krishna. Iti nandadayo gopaha, all the Gopas headed by Nanda Maharaj, you know what they do? Krishna, Rama, Katham, Muda. They relish the narration of pastimes of Krishna and Balaram from the other smaller Gopas. Kurvanto Ramamanascha, they're hearing about Krishna and Balaram with great satisfaction and happiness. Navindan Bhavavedanam. Therefore, they did not experience any material distress. When we hear Krishna Katha, when we hear the pastimes of Krishna and Balaram and Vrindavan, we will be relieved from all kinds of material tribulations. We will not experience our material tribulations. How? Simple. When we elevate our consciousness to a spiritual platform, by hearing the pastimes of Krishna and Balaram, Krishna is the Supreme Lord, Balaram is Adi Guru. He is Guru Tattva. He not only acts as a servant of Krishna in 5 rasas, he also acts as Guru of the devotees of Krishna. He also acts as the origin of the mood of being a servant of Krishna in all the servants of Krishna. That is Balaram's glory. So when we hear about Balaram, when we hear about Krishna, then we will not experience any material tribulations, right? Because hearing about the Lord and his devotee elevates our consciousness to a spiritual platform, and the material tribulations will not affect us. When you're in a higher plane, things that are happening on a lower plane will not affect you. When you're in this material plane, material problems will affect us. But when you're in spiritual plane, higher plane, material problems will not affect you because you have elevated yourself already. They exist. They don't affect us, right? So therefore, hear about Krishna and Balaram constantly. Now let us discuss about the appearance of Balaramji. Devaki Mata, she has given birth to 6 sons. And all the 6 children were killed by the cruel King Kamsa. Finally, during her 7th pregnancy, Balaramji entered into the womb of Mother Devaki by eternally, Balaramji is the son of Rohini Mata. But first he entered into the womb of Devaki Mata. Why? Because Balaramji, in one of his expansions, is Seshanag. And Seshanag is the snake bed of the Supreme Lord Vishnu. Now Krishna is going to appear in Devaki Mata's womb to prepare his bed. Balaramji also enters into Devaki Mata's womb. First he prepares his bed and then he leaves. How did he leave? When Balaramji was within the womb of Mother Devaki, then Lord Vishnu called Yogamaya and ordered her, Yogamaya, now Balaram is there within the womb of Mother Devaki. Now your service is to shift Balaram from Devaki's womb to Rohini Mata's womb. At that time, Rohini Mata was there in Gokul under the protection of Nanda Maharaj. Why did that happen? Vasudev had 18 wives. Because of the fear of Kamsa, Vasudev had sent his wives to different places for their protection. Kamsa had imprisoned Vasudev and Devaki, and the remaining 17 wives of Devaki went to different places for their survival. Vasudev had sent them. And Vasudev had sent Rohini Mata to Nanda Maharaj's home. And she is there along with Yashoda Mata happily there, of course, missing her husband. So, this Yogamaya shifted Balaramji from Devaki's womb to Rohini Mata's womb. And later, Yogamaya took birth as Yashoda Mata's sister, and Krishna took birth as Devaki Mata's son. So, Balaram had multiple names: Rama, Sankarshana, Balabhadra. Let's discuss the meanings of these names. I'll begin with Sankarshana. Why Balaram is called Sankarshana? Multiple reasons. First, he has been transferred from Devaki's womb to Rohini's womb. And although he is the member of Vasudev's family, he grew up in the form of a cowherd boy in Nanda Maharaj's family. Thus, he brought Nanda Maharaj's family and Vasudev's family together. He brought a family from Mathura and family from Gokul together. Because of the facilitating this union of these two families, bringing these two families together, is called Sankarshana, right? That's why Balaramji is called Sankarshana. So, Balaramji's pastimes in Bhagavatam appear in various places. One is in the 10th canto, he kills Dhenukasur, a donkey demon. Then he also kills Pralambasur, a demon who appears in the form of a cowherd boy. Then he also kills Rukmini Devi's sister. He also visits Vrindavan and consoles his parents Yashoda Mata and Nanda Maharaj and all the other gopis. Then Balaramji also kills a gorilla demon named Dvivida. Then he also kills another, he also conducts the marriage of Samba with Duryodhan's daughter. He also visits Vrindavan. He kills a Brahmana named Romaharshana Sutta. And he also kills another demon named Balvala. Like that, Balaramji's pastimes are described from the beginning to the end of 10th canto in various chapters. So we may not be able to cover all these pastimes described in the 10th canto, but we'll try to learn some lessons from few of these pastimes as much as possible. First, let's discuss the name-giving ceremony of Balaram. One day, when Krishna and Balaram were very, very small children in Nanda Maharaj's home, Gargamuni came to Nanda Maharaj's house in Gokul. Why? Because Vasudeva became very anxious. Vasudeva knew my son Balaram and Krishna both are there under the protection of Nanda Maharaj in Gokul. Balaram were, and I don't know whether Nanda Maharaj has conducted their name-giving ceremony or not, Namakaran ceremony or not. So let me send my priest, the priest of Yadus, Gargamuni, to Nanda Maharaj's home. So Gargamuni in this context came to Nanda Maharaj's home and conducted the name-giving ceremony of Krishna and Balaram. First Balaram, because he's elder. So he gave, actually Nanda Maharaj did not agree. Gargamuni did not initially agree. He was thinking that if I conduct the name-giving ceremony of your son, Nanda Maharaj, Kamsa may know and Kamsa may cause harm to all of us. He's very cruel. Then Nanda Maharaj proposed that let us conduct this name giving ceremony secretly, very secretly, in Goshala. Only myself and Vasudev and Rohini Mata and Yashoda Mata will be there, and these two little boys will be there, and you will be there. So only 6 of us in human forms and many cows. So it will be confidential, don't worry, you please come. Then Gargamani gives name to Balaram. First he says, Ayam Hirohini Putro Ramayan Suhrudo Gunaihi Akhyaasyate Rama iti Baladhikyat Balam Viduhu Yadunam Apruthak Bhavat Sankarshanamupasya Ushantyapi. Now, Ayam Hirohini Putro, this son of Rohini Mata, is Ramayan Suhrudo Gunaihi. He pleases his friends and relatives with his divine qualities. His gunas are very great. Ramayan, so with those beautiful qualities, he will give satisfaction to Suhruda, all the relatives. Therefore, he is called Rama. Baladev is called Rama because he enjoys and he gives enjoyment to others. Then Baladhikyat Balam Viduhu, because he has so much of Balam, so much of physical strength, he is also called Bala. One name is Rama, second name is Bala. Together he is called Balaram also. Then Yadunam Apruthak Bhavat Sankarshan Ushantyapi. Sankarshan unites two families. He brings Yadu's family and your family together. Therefore, he is also called Sankarshana. So Balaram is extraordinarily strong physically and spiritually, and he is the source of our spiritual strength also. There's a beautiful shloka from Mundaka Upanishad. Prabhupada quotes that in the 10th canto purports. He says, Nayam Atma Balahine Labhyo Nacha Pramodat Tapasavapya Lingat Etair Upayair Yatate Yastu Vidvan Tasyaisha Atma Vishate Brahma Dhama. The first line is very important. Nayam Atma Balahinena Labhyo. One cannot attain self-realization or spiritual realization without Bala. Balahinena. Bala means strength. Hina means one who is devoid of that strength. So generally people may think that Balahina means one who is weak physically, cannot attain self-realization. No. The real meaning is Nayam Atma Balahinena Labhya means one who does not have the mercy or compassion or blessings of Balaram cannot attain self-realization, cannot attain the lotus feet of Krishna. Nayam Atma Balahinena Labhyo. We need the blessings of Balaramji. We need to have spiritual strength, which is infused by Balaramji to ultimately elevate in spiritual life, elevate ourselves in spiritual life. So Mundaka Upanishad says this. So Balaramji is also Adiguru. So let us chronologically discuss the pastimes of Balaram as they appear in Bhagavatam as much as possible within the available time. Balaram and Krishna, they both grew together. They're very small children at that time. They were crawling babies. They began to crawl like snakes. Kale navrjatalpena gokule ramakeshavau janubhyam sahapanibhyam ringamanau vichahrituhu. Kalena Rajatalpena. Rama, Balaram and Keshava. Ram's name comes first because his elder brother. Keshava's name comes later because his younger brother. So Balaram and Krishna, they started crawling. How? Janubhyam saha panibhyam. Janu means knees. Pani means hands. So because these boys, Krishna and Balaram, although they are the supreme creators of the universe and maintainers of the universe, at this moment they are infant babies, small babies, few months old babies. They don't have the ability to move. So they crawl with Janubhyam with knees, Sahapanibhyam with hands. So they crawl using their hands and knees. They're unable to stand on their own legs. So this is the sweet childhood pastime of the Lord. Ringamana Vijahrudhu, like snakes, they are crawling like this. So in the muddy places. Then sometimes Krishna and Balaram would see some gopis and they become confused. Maybe this is Yashoda Mata, maybe this is Rohini Mata. They become little confused. And they go and pull their dress from behind. And this elderly gopi would just look back, and Krishna will recognize, and Balaram would recognize that, oh, these are not our mothers. Then they become little afraid and they crawl back to their own mothers. And sometimes Krishna would catch the tail of a calf, and the calf becomes scared, and the calf runs away. And Krishna becomes scared, and he holds on to the calf's tail more tightly, and the calf would drag Krishna in the soft mud of Vrindavan, soft dust of Vrindavan, which is further softened by Kaudang and Kavyurin. Kaudang, Kavyurin, and Vrajadhuli. It's a mixture in Nandamahara's courtyard. And Krishna is dragged by a calf in that wonderful courtyard, and Balaramji rejoices these pastimes, witnessing them. And Krishna and Balaram together nicely steal butter. They are constant companions, along with other companions like monkeys and gopas. So they perform so many such pastimes. And Mother Yashoda and Rohini Mata, they become very, very anxious to protect these restless boys. Shringyagni jala dvijakantake क्रीडापराव अतिचलौ स्वसुतौ निषेद्धं गृह्याणि कर्तुमपि यत्र न तज्जनन्यौ सेकात आपतुरलं मनसोनवस्थां. Shringi means animals that have horns. Agni means fire. So this refers to cows. Shringi refers to cows. Agni means fire. Damstri, those who have sharp teeth, like dogs or some other animals. Asi means knife. Jala, water. Dvija, birds. Kantakebhyaha means thorns. These two boys, Krishna and Balaram, they come in contact with all of them. They go and touch cows. They go and touch fire. They go and touch water, knives, this and that. So many things they keep touching. Krida Parao, they are totally absorbed in games. Atichalau means very restless, fickle-minded. Swasutau Nishedham, to stop their restless boys from exploring all these things. Yashoda Mata and Yashoda Mata and Rohini Mata become very anxious. Manaso Anavastham, their mind is very restless, anxious. Grihyani Kartum Apiyatrana Tajjananyo, these Jananis, Rohini Mata and Yashoda Mata, they could not focus on their household activities because their mind is totally agitated because of the restless boys. Basically, Prabhupada says that anxiety taken for Krishna's protection is the right kind of anxiety. And all of us must be anxious in that way. So let us be anxious for Krishna's safety, Krishna's service, to protect Krishna and Balaram, who are the protectors of the entire universe. Yashoda Mata and Rohini Mata are becoming anxious. So after they are little grown up, Krishna and Balaram would enter the pasturing grounds, little forests, taking their little calves. There they start imitating peacocks. Here you see Balaramji is imitating peacock, and Krishna is imitating a frog, and this boy is imitating a monkey, and this boy is imitating a bird. Like that, all these boys, they imitate the animals and birds, and they enjoy the company of each other. They play and they tend cows throughout the day. Further, Krishna and Balaram would play, sing, dance, and they would also play musical instruments. In this way, Krishna and Balaram, haste grihitva saharama machyutam grihitva savatam kritavatyathodayam. Very interesting description given here. One day, Krishna and Balaram were totally absorbed in their games along with their friends. And Krishna and Balaram did not come for lunch. Yashoda Mata told Rohini, go and bring Krishna and Balaram for lunch. But Rohini Mata went and called, but they are not coming. So Rohini Mata came back and said, my dear Yashoda, your sons are unable to come now because they're engrossed in playing. I don't have the ability to bring here. Only you have the ability to go and bring. Yashoda Mata has more authority over Balaram and Krishna than even Rohini Mata. And Yashoda Mata's position is above Rohini Mata also. So Balaramji has great respect for Yashoda Mata. So when Krishna and Balaram did not come, Yashoda Mata came there. and she said, "You need to take your meals along with uh, Nanda Maharaj," but still they were not coming. So what did Yashodamata do? Haste grihitva. She went close to Krishna and Balaram, held with her two hands, held the hands of Krishna and Balaram and dragged them lovingly, dragged them to home, bathed them and brought them to Prasad. So this is how Krishna and Balaram are very submissive to Yashoda Mata, although they are mischievous. So it's a very wonderful combination of obedience and disobedience, respect and restlessness. So once, because of so many disturbances of demons in Gokul, all the Vrajavasis decided to shift to Vrindavan from Gokul. So Krishna, Balaram, Rohini Mata, and Yashoda Mata, they sat in bullock carts and they were nicely traveling from Gokul Mahavan to Vrindavan. There, Krishna and Balaram were given the charge of calves along with other boys who were maybe a little more than 3 years old. So Krishna and Balaram, Krishna first killed a great demon named Bakasur. So Bakasur was a crane demon, and as soon as it came, he just swallowed Krishna. And Balaramji became unconscious. Although Balaramji completely knows the powers of Krishna, he knows how powerful Krishna is, still Balaramji felt unconscious because of his intense Vatsalya affection towards his dear Krishna. And of course, other boys also fainted. Although Balaramji, he himself is very powerful and he knows Krishna's power, still sometimes his emotion, sometimes his deep absorption in being an elder brother of Krishna and Vatsalya Prema completely overpowers him that he may become anxious for Krishna's protection also. Even in Dwaraka also, once Krishna alone goes to Kundinapur, Vidarbha city, to kidnap Rukmani Devi. At that time, Balaramji became anxious. Oh, Krishna went alone on his chariot to kidnap Rukmani Devi. Maybe this Jarasandha and all these people may attack Krishna. So Balaramji also came behind Krishna with so much of Sena to protect Krishna. So this is the Vatsalya feelings of Balaram. So this is how Krishna and Balaram are constantly together, accompanying each other. And as Bhagavatam says, Krishna is the hero of all these pastimes. And Balaramji, although he is capable, equally potent like Krishna almost, still he is like a supporting hero. He just accompanies Krishna. He goes and kills demons as much as Krishna allows him to do so. If Krishna personally wants to kill the demons, yes, Balaramji is a servitor, so he just takes a low profile. So that is how Balaramji is constantly in the mode of being a servant of Krishna and a supporting hero. The real hero is Krishna, and Balaramji although is hero, but he's always in a supporting role. By Krishna's will, Balaram can remain unaware of many of the pastimes of Krishna also. As all of you know, during the Brahma Vimohana Leela, when Brahma had stolen all the calves and the boys, cowhead boyfriends of Krishna, Krishna expanded himself in the forms of all these boys and calves. Like that, almost 1 year passed. Krishna, Balaram, and all the gopas and the calves are going to the forest and coming back from the forest for 1 full year. But nobody could detect that all these boys and calves are actually Krishna's expansions and they are not the original boys and calves. Even Balaramji also could not detect. Just 4 or 5 days before the completion of an year, Balaramji noticed a peculiar incident. What was that? All the cows and the cowhead men were on the top of Govardhan Hill. And all the boys, cowhead boys and the calves were at the footsteps of Govardhan Hill. Somehow the cows saw the calves. And the cows became so attracted to the calves and they came running from the top of hill to feed their calves their milk and also lick their bodies and express their Vatsalya affection, parental affection. And to control these cows, all the cowhead men also came down, running behind them. But as soon as these cowherd men saw the boys, their own children, they became overwhelmed with fatherly affection, and they started embracing their children, and they drenched their children with their tears of affection. Here, the Gopas are showing some fatherly affection towards the boys, and the cows are showing motherly affection towards the calves. And Balramji became so surprised. Balramji was thinking, how come all these cowhead men and cows are displaying so much of love and affection towards these boys and calves as much as they have affection towards Krishna? In Vrindavan, every Brajavasi loves Krishna more than their own children, more than their own selves, more than anything else in the entire creation. So that is how Krishna is attractive in Vrindavan to every single Brajavasi, whether it's a gopa or a gopi or a cow or a calf or a peacock or a monkey or a parrot or a butterfly or whatever may be the species. Every single living being loves Krishna more than anything else in the entire creation. In fact, all of us also love Krishna more than anyone else in the entire creation. But that love has to be developed, invoked by the practice of bhakti. But we all have the capacity and the natural intrinsic inclination to love Krishna more than anything else and anyone else. Because we're parts and parcels of Krishna, we're amshas of Krishna. Mamayivamsho jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatanaha. Being the amshas of Krishna, it is our natural constitutional position to be attracted to Krishna, but because of the rust of lust, our attraction towards Krishna is not manifest. But the process of bhakti will help us invoke that, develop that innate love for Krishna. But Brajavasis are in the purest form of their consciousness without any material desires. Therefore, they're able to exhibit that love. And Balaramji knows this. These Brajavasis are loving their children as much as they love Krishna, means they must be Krishna's expansions. Right? So then Balaramji asked Krishna, Krishna, what has happened? Tell me. Then Krishna revealed the whole thing. Then Balaramji understood. So this is how Balaramji just acts as an instrument in Krishna's will many times. He plays his role in Krishna's pastimes according to the expectation of Krishna. But why did Krishna hide this secret from Balaramji? Why Krishna had to hide? Because Krishna did not want Balaramji to feel separation from their beloved friends. So Krishna, somehow he decided not to reveal this to Balaram, and Balaram also did not understand. Although nothing is unknown to Balaram, but still Balaramji did not understand this. Why Krishna spoke. Right? Aho bhagyam nanda gopa vrajaukasam yanmitram paramanandam purnam brahma sanatanam. Aho bhagyam. Brahma is offering prayers like this after seeing Krishna's opulences, after Brahma Vimohana Leela. He said, all the members of the cowherd community headed by Nanda Maharaj are extremely glorious. Because yan mitram paramanandam purnam brahma sanatanam. Although Purna Sanatana Brahma, the Supreme Absolute Truth Krishna, is directly in their cowherd community, they're considering him as Mitra. He's our friend. He's not God. He's not God. He's our dear friend. So how can someone consider God as friend? They're overwhelmed with feelings of friendship and love and affection towards Krishna more than reverence. That is the speciality of all the Brajavasis. As I said sometime back, Balaramji even massages the lotus feet of Krishna when he's fatigued, considering himself as a servant of Krishna. Now let us discuss some pastimes that Balaramji has enacted in Vrindavan. So as all of you know, once the Brajavasis, the cowhead boys, felt they had a desire to taste tala fruits in Talavan. So they requested Krishna and Balaram, Krishna, Balaram, can you please help us get some tala fruits? Because this Talavan is guarded by a donkey demon named Dhenukasur, and this Dhenukasur doesn't allow anyone, even birds also cannot fly above Talavan, because Dhenukasur has this territory consciousness. Dhenukasur thinks that I'm the boss of this place. No one should enter this place. Therefore, no one is entering. So, but we want to taste those tala fruits. If Dhenukasur doesn't allow us, then you can kill them, right? So let's go. Then, to fulfill the desire of his dear friends, Krishna and Balram went to Talvan. And in Talvan, yeah, there are so many details of this pastime. But I'm not covering all of them. I'm directly going to that little episode of Krishna, Balaram killing Dhenukasur. So they went to Talvan, and there uh, Krishna, Balaramji just went to one tala tree and started shaking that tala tree vigorously. He has such unlimited strength, and tala fruit started falling down. And these little boys, they became very excited to eat those tala fruits. But Dhenukasur heard the sound of tala fruits falling down. Then Dhenukasur immediately came there to punish the person who has entered his territory. Then Balaramji picked up Dhenukasur by his legs and started twirling him around like this. And because of this wheeling motion, Dhenukasur died. Initially, there was a very brief fight between Balaram and Dhenukasur, but ultimately Dhenukasur was killed effortlessly by Balaram single-handedly. Then, then all the Vrajavasis had this wonderful feast of tala fruits. And many other colorful donkeys came, and Krishna and Balaram finished all those donkeys very effortlessly. Then finally, Sukadeva Goswami says, Naita Chitram Bhagavati Hyanante Jagadishwari Ota Protam Idam Yasmims Tantushvangayatha Pataham Naita Chitram Bhagavati. You may wonder that Balramji could effortlessly kill this Dhenukasur. How is it possible? Then Sukadeva Goswami says, Naita Chitram Bhagavati, for Bhagavan, Balaram, it is not at all a wonder to kill a demon like this. He Anante Jagadishware, he is Ananta, he is unlimited. One of the names of Balaram is Ananta. Jagadishware, he is the master of the universe. Ota Protamidam Vishwam. Just like a cloth rests on the horizontal and vertical threads like this, similarly, Balaramji is like the basis of this creation, foundation of this creation. He is like the horizontal and vertical threads of a cloth. Means everything is dependent on Balaram. Balaramji's expansion is Seshanaga. On the hoods of Seshanaga, there are so many planets, right? So Seshanaga has this Bhudharana Shakti, Ananta Dev. Ananta Sesha has this Bhudharana Shakti. Now, let us learn what lesson that Balaramji is revealing to us through killing Dhenukasur. Dhenukasur represents gross materialistic intelligence. One should have intelligence, but many people have material intelligence by which they can attain material sense gratification very easily. So Balaramji killed Dhenukasur. Means when we take shelter of Balaram, then the gross material intelligence that we have, with which we are pursuing sense gratificatory desires, that will be destroyed. Right? So gross material desires will be destroyed when we take shelter of Balaramji. So Dhenukasur represents gross discrimination. Another perspective. By your gross material intelligence, you will have discrimination. One of the aspects of intelligence is discrimination, means viveka. What is discrimination? Differentiating between what is good, what is bad, what is right, what is wrong, what is auspicious, what is inauspicious, what is appropriate, what is inappropriate. That differentiation is called discrimination. You should be able to understand this is right and this is wrong. This will give me gain, this will give me loss. So that understanding one should have, that's a part of intelligence. But what is the quality of material intelligence? Material intelligence constantly does this discrimination of what will give me material gain, what will give me material loss, what will give me material enjoyment, what will give me material distress. Right? The happiness and distress are on a material plane, and the material intelligence pursues the material discrimination, helps us pursue material happiness and give up material distress, right? So, sometimes, of course, this is required. Even on a material plane, we need to use our intelligence to accept the right thing and reject the wrong thing. However, when the material intelligence is like too sharp, too high, too deep, or too elevated, that material intelligence or material knowledge also is like a burden. And we become like bharavahis. We are carrying the burden of so much of analytical knowledge. It's not required for us to go to the spiritual world. Sometimes people are extra smart. Sometimes people have great intelligence. How to cheat people, how to beat people, how to loot people and get so much of money for one's own sense gratification. Yes, they're trying to explore material happiness by using their material intelligence. They may hack someone's computer. They may hack someone's bank account and take everything. This is all gross material intelligence functioning, right? What will give me gain? So that intelligence is directed towards acquiring a lot of material comforts and material facilities, and that is actually a burden. We need to have intelligence to survive in this world. We need to have intelligence by which we can protect ourselves from exploitation in this world. All that is great. But if we use that material intelligence only to acquire material happiness and exploit someone else materially and manipulate this material energy with that intelligence, then that intelligence takes us nowhere. In fact, that intelligence is like a big burden that will entangle us more and more and more in this material whirlpool, right? So Balaramji kills that unnecessary material intelligence, right? Which is like a bhara. We should be essence seeker. Let us seek the essence of all knowledge. Tadasya kausharavasharmadatur hareh kathamev katha susaram uddhrutya pushpebhya ivarta bandho shivaya nah kirtayati irtha kirteh. Vidura is speaking to Maitreya. Oh, Maitreya, there may be hundreds and thousands of topics. An intelligent person may be well aware of all these topics. That's great. But all the topics are not very much necessary for our spiritual advancement or even material survival. Therefore, what is the point of acquiring so much of material knowledge which will not help us in any way? Therefore, intelligent people seek the essence of all topics and essence of all knowledge and use their intelligence to stick to the essence instead of unnecessarily utilizing that intelligence to analyze so much, which is not of much use, right? So it is like bhara, it's a burden. And Balaramji removes that burden of unnecessary material intelligence and sharpens our spiritual intelligence. For example, you have a smartphone. There are 1,000 apps in it. Do we need all of them? Some are essential apps you can use. Your email is there and some messages are there. You can use certain apps, but some apps we don't need. And knowledge of those unnecessary apps is a burden for us. In fact, the presence of an app in that mobile also is occupying unnecessary memory. Whatever is useful for us, that we can maintain. Whatever is not useful, it's a burden. Although a lot of intelligence went into designing it, a lot of intelligence is going into maintaining it or using it. But how is it beneficial to us? We need to have that discrimination, that viveka. So Balaramji killed Dhenukasur. That represents that a guru, Balaramji being Adi Guru, he destroys the burden of unnecessary material knowledge and analysis and helps us stick to the essence. Similarly, Balaram also killed another demon named Pralambasur. One day, Krishna, Balaram, and all these great Gopas, they were playing in Bhandiravan. Bhandiravan is a beautiful place. Bhandire Shashi Khanda Manda Navara Shri Khanda Littanga He Vrindaranya Purandara Spuradamande and Devarashyamala. There are beautiful shlokas that describe that Krishna is Bhandiresha, the master of Bhandiravan. So in that Bhandiravan, the Gopas are happily playing. Balaramji and Krishna and so many Gopas. They form themselves into two teams. One is Krishna team, second is Balaram team. So Krishna team and Balaram team, they were fighting with each other. Fighting means their game. They were playing with each other. But the condition in that game was that whoever loses the game should carry the winner on his back. That was the condition. And they were trying to play. Somehow Krishna's team lost, and Balaramji's team won. See, Balaram won over Krishna. So, according to the rules of the game, the losers must carry the winners on their back. So, Krishna had to carry someone from Balaramji's team, and all the members of Krishna's team must carry all the members of Balaramji's team. Somehow, this Pralambasur joined Krishna's team. Who is this Pralambasur? On that day when these Gopas were playing, one Gopa did not come for the forest that day. So, Pralambasur took the form of that particular Gopa who did not come that day for herding cows, and he started playing, and he targeted to kill Balaram first. He thought that Balaramji is not so powerful. No, he's not as powerful as Krishna. So if we kill Balaram, Krishna will become emotionally weak. Then killing Krishna will become very easy for me. Let me kill Balaram first. So with this intention, he came as a cowhead boy. Then he said that I will carry Balaram. So Pralambasur carried Balaram on his back. And Pralambasur took Balaram far away from where they were playing. And Balaramji understood, this is Pralambasur. He is taking me far away. And Balaramji could notice. Balaramji then became very heavy. Just like when Trinavarta took Krishna high into the sky, 800,000 miles high into the sky, then Krishna became so heavy that Trinavarta could not carry him. Similarly, now Balaramji became so heavy that Pralambasur could not carry him. And then Pralambasur assumed his original form. So sometimes demons may come in the disguise of some Gopa or some Gopi or a calf or some innocent form, but they won't be able to maintain that form once the Lord starts punishing them. Putana came in a disguised form, like a trustworthy, beautiful, loving, heavenly mother. But when Krishna started sucking her milk, Putana resumed her original form. Similarly, when Balaramji became very heavy on the back of Pralambasur, Pralambasur resumed his original form. Seeing that form, Balaramji became fearful. Why Balaramji became frightened? One may have this doubt. The answer is to maintain the mood of the pastime. Because Balaramji is playing the role of a small child. When a small child sees a big demon, naturally he'll become fearful, right? So to maintain that sweetness and innocence of this childish pastime, Balaramji, just for a moment, he exhibited little fear. But Balaramji was fearful for another reason. He was thinking that after all the Pralambasur is a demon, still he was in Krishna's team till now. How can I kill him? He acted as Krishna's friend. How can I kill him? Balaramji had this sentiment. And one more reason. Balaramji was thinking that this demon brought me far away from my friends. Maybe at this time, another demon was attacking Krishna. Oh, maybe Krishna is in some danger. So Balaramji, with his Vatsalya bhav, as an elderly brother, he became anxious for Krishna. Therefore, he appeared fearful. But immediately Balaramji gave up that fear and he struck Pralambasur's head with his fist. And Pralambasur immediately vomited blood and fell down dead. And all the Gopas just came running towards Balaramji and they said, excellent, Balaramji, Jai. So they became very happy. So this is how Pralambasur was killed by Balaram. And this Pralambasur represents subtle self-gratificatory desire, sex desire, right? And he also represents cunningness and cheating propensity. He also represents greed for material objects and over-endeavor for material enjoyment, pride, desire for worship and position. All these are anarthas represented by Pralambasur. So Balaramji killed Pralambasur. When we take shelter of Balaram, he will also kill all these evil propensities within us. So this is like subtle desire for hunting opposite gender with cunningness and cheating propensity. So Balaramji being the Adi Guru, he doesn't allow the devotees of Krishna to become victims of this cunningness and cheating propensity and unnecessary attraction towards the opposite gender, which is against dharma. Now, another incident in Krishna Leela where Balramji's qualities exhibited. When Krishna was trying to subdue Kaliya, all the hoods of Kaliya were trying to bite Krishna. But Krishna jumped on all those hoods and he is trying to subdue all of them effortlessly. He was dancing also. And all the Gopas, cows, bulls, devatas, Vrajavasis, everybody was very anxious. But only Balramji is smiling happily. He said nothing. Why Balramji was smiling when every other Vrajavasi is anxious? The answer is Balramji did not cry because he wanted to give hope to all the devotees there. And Balramji also thought that Krishna is extraordinarily powerful. Therefore, I don't have to fear. Let me smile happily. Krishna is going to subdue Kaliya. Why should I cry? Why should I be anxious? But another reason why he's smiling was, I am Ananta Sesha. And Krishna never played with me like this. But Krishna is playing with a water snake like Kaliya there. Oh, why Krishna is doing that? He had some smiles on his face, remembering Krishna's mood of playing with the water snake like that. So Krishna and Balaram would enter the forest and they perform so many pastimes. And as Krishna and Balaram are entering the forest, the gopis of Krishna, they describe Krishna and Balaram like this. Akshanvatam phalamidam naparam vidamaha sakhya pasun anuviveshayator vayasyehi vaktram rajesha sutayor anuvenu jushtam yairvani pitamanuragta kataksha moksham. Akshanvatam phalamidam naparam vidamaha. The purpose of having eyes is this, nothing else. What is that? Sakhya pasun anuviveshayator vayasyehi. Along with sakhas means friends, cowhead boys. Pasun means cows. Vrajesha Sutayor, the two sons, Krishna and Balaram, the two sons of Rajeshananda Maharaj, who are Krishna and Balaram, they were accompanied by their boys and their cows and their playing flutes and entering into Vrindavan forest. To be able to see those beautiful forms of Krishna and Balaram as they're entering the forest of Vrindavan along with the boys and cows is the greatest ecstasy of eyes. That is the purpose of having eyes. No other purpose for having eyes. Of course, these gopis have their intimate affection only towards Krishna, not so much for Balaram, because they're Krishna's gopis. Balaramji has his own set of gopis with whom he performs Rasa Leela. But these gopis are generalizing their emotions for Krishna, specific emotions for Krishna, just to hide their feelings. But they are bringing in Balaram also. But the fact is that to be able to see Krishna and Balaram as they're entering the forest of Vrindavan is a great ecstasy for the eyes. And these gopis also requested Balaram to hold Krishna back in Vrindavan only when Krishna was being taken away by Akrura. So, and in this way, Krishna and Balaram performed so many pastimes. Every time, Balaramji is accompanying Krishna. As Krishna was doing Mathura tour, Balaramji was accompanying Krishna, blessing the weaver, blessing the, punishing the washerman, blessing Sudama florist. And while Krishna killed Chanura, a wrestler of Kamsa's wrestling arena, Balaramji killed Mushtika. Then Shala, Toshala, Kota, three more came. Out of these three, Krishna killed one, Krishna killed two, and Balaramji killed one. And after Krishna killed Kamsa, then 8 brothers of Kamsa came to attack. Balaramji killed all the 8 brothers of Kamsa. So Balaramji is always accompanying Krishna and doing the needful to protect Krishna, support Krishna in his pastimes. He's always taking a little low profile or back seat, and whenever there is a requirement, he will come in front. This is the mode of Balaramji. So we should be able to imbibe that spirit of supreme servitor of Krishna, Balaram, and try to do the needful in our service to Krishna, Guru and Vaishnavas. Sometimes our mind may aspire for prominence. front seat, limelight. But you see, Balaram, despite having the ability to kill all the demons that Krishna had killed, Balaramji took a back seat and allowed Krishna to kill. And in Lakshmana avatar, Lakshman is always accompanying Lord Ramachandra. Whether the Lord Balaram is acting like an elder brother of Krishna or younger brother of Ram, he's always there as an associate, assisting Krishna in his pastimes and doing the needful to make the pastimes very smooth and not aspiring for prominence. So this is one lesson that we can learn from Balaramji. Even in Dwarka Sudharma Assembly Hall also, Balaramji is with Krishna doing so many pastimes. And Balaramji says Divida Gorilla and many other pastimes are there. I think I won't be able to cover all of them. Tomorrow in the second part, we will see more pastimes of Balaramji and more lessons from Balaramji. Tomorrow we will discuss more about Balaramji's acting as a guru and what mood this Adi Guru is expecting from his disciples or all the disciples of gurus, their gurus. All that we will see tomorrow. But today we discussed a few pastimes, specifically Vrindavan pastimes of Balaramji. I wish everyone a very, very happy Balaram Jayanti. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Shri Balaram Jayanti Maha Mahotsav ki jai. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Thank you very much, Gauranga Darshan Prabhu, for beautifully covering pastimes and instructions, verses. Very much. Any questions, one or two, quickly, if anybody has, please raise it up.
Prabhu, I think we won't be able to questions. I need to go for Jholan now.
Okay, Prabhu.